Hello, and welcome to my review of the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 1, Stranger in a Strange Land, directed by Robert Rodriguez, I believe, and written by Jon Favreau. Yeah, I really wanted to like this one more than I did. I feel like, in theory, I should have liked it because it was, like, on Tatooine, and they're slimy aliens, and it was dirty, but I just kind of felt like I was indifferent to it. So basically, I don't want this to be a review about where I just tell you what happens instead of like criticizing it. But a lot of it was just action, and it's kind of hard to criticize it without telling you what happened. So basically, it started. It basically explained how Boba Fett escaped from the Sarlacc pit at the end of Return of the Jedi when he was tossed in there. Or Luke hit a button on his rocket pack, and he bounced off the sail barge and fell down into the Sarlacc pit, and it let out a hearty burp. So he's down in the Sarlacc pit, and he's like entangled in all this mucus and being slowly digested. And one thing I thought was weird was that there was a pearly white stormtrooper right next to him. And I don't know if you remember Return of the Jedi or not, but during that fight, there were no stormtroopers on the sail barge. And it just seemed weird that there would be a stormtrooper in there. Like, there were all these leather-faced, brown-looking guys with the top-knot ponytail thing. Like, there should have been a couple of those Jabba's henchmen in there. But no, there was a stormtrooper, which weren't even in the movie. But I don't know. According to C-3PO in Return of the Jedi, basically how a Sarlacc works is that you fall in there and it preserves your life for some reason, and it digests you over millions of years, either millions or thousands, I forget. But like, I don't know why it keeps you alive just to digest you. It seems like it would cost more to feed you and keep you alive than it would to just get the nourishment from you in the first place. So I've never understood that. But anyway, Boba Fett's alive. The stormtrooper seemed like he was stone dead. Maybe it doesn't keep you alive that long. Maybe he was just alive. Maybe it kills you like within a couple of days. But C-3PO just didn't have his facts straight. But he was alive in there, and the stormtrooper was dead. And I mean, I guess the stormtrooper could have fallen in at any time. He could have fallen in there, weeks earlier. Who knows? But basically he crawls out and passes out on the desert, and he's like picked up by these sand people. And one thing I didn't like about the sand people is, like, I don't know, when they talked, it was just like weird people making weird animal noises, like rah, rah, rah. And it just didn't sound good. Like, they could have done the extra work to get some animal noises and work them into the sound, like they always did in the old Star Wars movies. They worked like Chewbacca. They used walrus sound effects, lion and tiger sound effects, bear sound effects. Like, they could have, I don't know, I feel like they could have worked something like that in instead of just having a random actor going. And then, like, the sand people, like, some of them, they were just wearing all black, and, like, it looked like they had some nice threads on. And I always felt like the original portrayal of the sand people, when they were wearing all these brown, drab, weather-beaten clothes, sun-dried, sun-beaten, dirty brown clothes. Like, I felt like that was more appropriate, and like just dark black clothing just didn't seem like what a frontier person would be wearing. And I don't know. Maybe there's like a tunnel that goes down underneath their hut, and there's like an elaborate system of tubes and caves under there, and maybe they got fancy duds down there. Who knows? But I don't know. I guess my assumptions about who they are isn't really the story's problem. So maybe that's a stupid thing to criticize. Because like there's only one type of human on this planet, and you can't make assumptions about them because there's so many like variations within the one genetic makeup. So it's like, why should I stereotype an alien creature that I'm unfamiliar with and hold the filmmakers to my preconceived stereotypes about it. So another thing I didn't like about him is like they like this boy was just taking his slaves for a walk one day, and then he was like, he told them to dig in the dirt. And first of all, why was he taking his slaves for a walk? Like, I guess to dig up these little things that had water in them. But it was just like, oh, and this little boy is the only one that's gonna supervise these two guys. It seems stupid. But anyway, he has them dig, and there's like these little spheres, and I didn't understand what the hell they were. Like, he was just making them dig, and I was like, what are they, like alien eggs or something? And they're breaking them open and drinking the liquid inside. But also, like, if you look at Bushmen in Africa, a lot of times they'll take an ostrich egg and then they'll bury it in the dirt, and they'll put like a little plant on top, like some grass or something. And I don't know if if the morning dew just collects in there and fills up with water, or if it collects on the leaves and they drain down. I don't know exactly how it works, but they collect water that way. And I was just like, is that what they're doing? Because it doesn't. It like, I guess in theory, that's not exactly what the sand people did. They were just like the things are buried under layers of sand. And I'm just thinking, like, why don't they have like the sand people's own equivalent of moisture evaporator, like moisture farming, like Luke and his Uncle Owen did? Like, they don't have that. Like, why was he taking his slaves for a walk? Why did he need them to, like, why were they so far from home that they needed to dig for water? And how did these stupid water orbs work? I don't know, it was weird. But at one point, like, this one of the slaves was this alien Rhodian type, and he was digging, and then he's digging and digging and digging, and all of a sudden he uncovers like this monster arm, and then it's a monster arm. I'll keep digging and unburying it, and then he digs out, unburies another monster arm. And then all of a sudden the monster arm reaches up and grabs him and then comes up out of the sand, and it's like this really dumb looking alien that looked like a claymation alien from Clash of the Titans or Sinbad the Sailor. It looked like somebody's kid designed it. It was just like this creature. It had two arms up top, two arms down in the middle, like around his torso, and then it had two back legs. And it could stand up like a man and it would have extra arms, or it could stand on the back four like a centaur and move around. And it just looked so dumb. And so Boba Fett starts fighting with this thing, and his movements just seemed so rickety and old, and he just didn't look like he looked like he was so fragile and old, like he could barely move. And so the fight just seems ridiculous. Like, you know, like I saw a trailer for this Clint Eastwood movie a while ago, and it was like Clint Eastwood, he was like he's like 200 years old, but he's still taking these tough guy roles where he's punching people out, even though he looks like a skeleton where somebody just, you know, airbrushed some skin over the bones. And like Tamara Morrison wasn't that bad, but he kind of gave this like his movements just like he ran like an old man. Like his movements just seemed like they were like when he was fighting and stuff. They just seemed like, oh, we're going easy on this guy because he might break in half. He's got two prosthetic hips. He's got two hip replacements. He can't move like he once did. But anyway, Tamara Morrison's fighting this thing. And it's got holding him by the ankle, and it's like shaking him upside down like a bully trying to shake out your milk money. And like, so he takes a chain and this thing's giant, and he throws the chain up and wraps around the two of the arms and pins them together. And I'm just like, I just thought that was dumb. Because like, I'm pretty sure like a gorilla would beat me easily in an arm wrestling match. I don't think I could throw a chain around a gorilla's arm and get it to stick and influence it in any way. Like the gorilla would be like, yeah, fuck you, dude. I'm just pull the chain and like pull it out of my hands. But this thing was like 6 times the size of a gorilla, and he had arms like tree trunks. And Tamara Morrison throws this chain up and wraps it around, and like it pins and the thing's like, oh my arms, oh, it's so stupid. And then this Clash of the Titans monster, while they're fighting, he was like going after the Rhodian guy. I think he killed their dog too. But Tamara Morrison jumps on his back and like wraps the chain around his neck and chokes him to death. And I just thought that was so dumb because like the thing could have just like it just stood there and died. Like it didn't make any. It didn't struggle. It didn't do anything to get out of it. Like I think it would just start thrashing violently in the least. Like I remember I picked up sometimes when you pick up a snake by its tail, it just flails like they just start spinning around like a propeller, just doing anything to get loose. Sometimes they like. Well, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but like sometimes I've had them do the helicopter thing. Like I feel like this centaur thing, Clash of the Titans creature, could have just like fell down on its back, rolled around and crushed him, like reached back and knocked him off. Like he had so many options, but he just died. Like that happened in another episode, in one of the episodes of The Mandalorian, where Cara Dune was choking out this Stone Cold Steve Austin guy, and he could have just let his hands, and then he passed out or died or whatever. When he had so many options, but he just gave up. Like I feel like there's the theme in this in these Star Wars shows where it's just like if people choke you from behind, there's nothing you can do. There's just so many options. I remember one time this mentally challenged guy was choking me, and I just like he came up behind and put his hands around my neck and had this iron grip on my neck, and I just like let my weight just like there's this kid's book about going boneless, where like if a little kid doesn't want you to pick it up, they'll just go boneless and it makes it hard. Like if you like I just did that. And then I was able to get out of it because he couldn't hold my body up. Like there's just so many options. Anyway, so they kill this Clash of the Titans monster, cut off its head, bring it back to the Sand People village, and then they I guess they were all impressed and they gave him a drink of water. And I don't know, maybe let him go or something. Yeah, it was weird. So yeah, like a lot of the story was just action. That at one point, like, it was just action and like clunky, clumsy dialogue. Like we sound totally normal, don't we? Yes, we do sound normal. Like it's just like that kind of annoying dialogue where these two people just didn't seem to have any chemistry whatsoever. Were trying to sound like they knew each other for years. At one point they got like a hold of these Gamorrean guard thugs to work for them, and I thought that was kind of cool. Like I like the Gamorrean guards were some of the best elements of the episode. I guess they're kind of like animals because they went into this bar and they're like, "Would you like just to hose down your Gamorrean guards while you're waiting?" I thought that was kind of funny, but I don't know. And so anyway, Boba Fett became this crime lord of some kind, and like I guess these assassins came and they were gonna assassinate him, and they surrounded him with these electro energy shields, and they were just like beating him up. And again, it seemed like they were going easy on him because he's an old man. But at some point, I was like, you know what? Maybe he's just injured because he just, I mean, he like the fight that the electro shield fight was it happened long after he'd escaped from the Sarlacc pit, because like all the episodes of The Mandalorian happened in between his escape and the current part of the story. So like maybe he's just injured. Like maybe he's like his movements are held back because he's hurt. At the end of the fight, the Gamorrean guards scooped him up and threw him right in a bacta tank. So I just kind of, I kind of like the more I think about it, it's kind of cool that he's like beaten up and bedraggled from years of bounty hunting. Like the number of limitations put on him makes the fight a little bit more interesting. I mean, it's kind of cool that Mandalorians sometimes have this like James Bond Batman hybrid thing going on, and like they kick butt, but they already have the Mandalorian, so like it's kind of cool that they show this older guy and how an older Mandalorian type goes through the universe or the galaxy. But anyway, so there was this fight. These electro shield people who were surrounding him, and they're beating them both up. And then there was like this, and at first I was like, this is stupid, because like Fennec Shand jumped up and was running on the shields like wire fu, and I hate wire fu. But that only lasted like a short moment. And then there was like this weird parkour scene where they were jumping across rooftops. And at first I thought that was kind of dumb, but I actually started to like it because they were just doing neat tricks. And I actually kind of like it. I started to like it after the wire fu part ended. I mean, that was on the wire fu part. It was like 2 seconds. It wasn't that bad. At one part when they were walking into a bar, there was like these aliens that were playing music, like Max Rebo and the horn player from the first Star Wars, A New Hope, and they were playing the song like from A New Hope, where it goes. But one of them had a guitar looking thing, and he was like riffing on that, and I guess that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like they should have made more of an effort to sound alien. Like when they did the Return of the Jedi Special Edition, they had these stupid animated aliens singing nonsense, and they had like a band that sounded like, I don't know, it just sounded like a television live performance. Like the thing about the first bar scene cantina song was that it was kind of jazzy, but it's like they're playing music that you don't normally hear. And like one of the guys in this episode, one of the guys had like a guitar, and it's just like I want to see alien stuff. I don't want to see an alien playing a guitar. Like as I play guitar myself, I love guitars, but it's just like, yeah, they're kind of mainstream. Like, why is he playing a guitar? Like, horns to me feel more alien and exotic, even though they're not really. But like in America, like a guitar is like the most common instrument you'll probably hear, and I just like that they're like the horns. Then there was Max Rebo on the keyboard, the blue elephant alien. Like the overall soundtrack of it was kind of good. Maybe, I don't know, could have been better, but it was all right. It was serviceable. Let's see. Do I have anything else to complain about? I don't know. I just feel like I really felt like I should have loved it, but I was just kind of indifferent to it. I didn't really feel like I'd learned anything about Boba Fett or Fennec Shand. It was just like him just saying forced dialogue, interacting with these dumb sand people that just, I don't know, I didn't learn who he was. He was just, I mean, I guess maybe it's kind of difficult to tell you who he is because they had the burden of telling how he escaped from the Sarlacc pit. But I feel like, I don't know, they could have handled the sand people a little bit better, I think. But anyway, I don't know. I guess if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C+ or a B-. Probably C+. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I want to complain about. I don't know. Hopefully the next one's better. All right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.